Okay, good. Okay. So I think okay, most of the kids are here too. Good. So last week, मध्ये आपण काय शिकलेलो? String splitting, right? You guys remember? String split करायचं शिकलेलो. Okay, how you can split this string into different words, right? Everybody is typing. You guys don't need to type in what standard you are in. That's okay. I think a lot of you guys are typing now. Sir, you guys remember the homework? Kuni kela homework? Can you guys, whoever wrote the program, can you guys type in the program or? Okay, Arjun, you hold on to it, your program, but let's see who else did the homework. You guys can see my screen, right? I'm presenting and this was the homework. Okay, Parth, should I hold on to it? No need to. Can you delete your message? Or that's okay? Okay. Okay, that's okay. Arjun did it and Parth did. Who else? Who else did these things? Today we don't have Mansi or Deepika. Aditi is there, right? Aditi, no homework? Okay, Arjun, you want to copy your homework so we can go and see. We'll take both yours and Parth and make sure that is being tested. So let's first test Parth's homework. Right, I'm copying his homework, testing it here. So can you guys see the code what Parth wrote? We are going to debug that or at least see what it is, right? Do you guys see? I mean, I see only Arjun saying yes, no, whatever he's saying, but other than Arjun, no one else. Who else is there? Aditi, expect some. Okay, so let's run it while Arjun types his homework. So let's run this and debug, right? So what we said, give, okay. We are gonna go here. So connect it to Python. It's on this place. I'm gonna run to the next line. So it pops up the message saying, oh, give a sentence below. Okay. I'm gonna type something. And I'm gonna go enter. Oh, what did these do? Input line 1, I'm student, indentation and error expected. Looks like there is some error. Okay. File input. So we are taking the input and you are doing a split on it right away. Further. Oh God. So usually, okay, then let me stop it and run it again. Let's run his program again. Path is saying he want to try it differently. So 19, then uh, it's not letting me type it there. Path. When I type it here, it will not let me type in there. So usually, okay. So let's just start debugging or trying to fix this issue, right? Usually, when you want to take input, you cannot write a code on something split, because what this gonna do is you cannot, unless that operation of input is complete, you cannot call a split on it. So this is what we are doing is getting the input and calling the split on it. So that's not technically gonna work. So you usually have to get this input into some variable and then use that variable in your split. So something like, if you take it in this x, so what you can do is then x dot split, right, this way. So you can say here split string equal to like this, or you can make this as a string. I think I'm trying to make that as a string and input string, and assign that as x, so your program remains same, right? So then input string dot split is what gonna go do the splitting functionality, and then rest of your program is as it is. So maybe let's try running this and see how it works. All right, so now we are here. I'm gonna run that first sentence. And run. Okay, is that the way? Do we do something? Okay. See. Let's fix it now with him. Okay, I know you did it in IDE. Why it is asking to the next line. Even I'm puzzled, guys. Anybody know how to do it? Uh, the console window here, right? Test is not defined. You know how usually you kind of uh, try to always come out with the error and fix the errors? Is this usually you put a print and see what's happening there? There is something, there is something code up here. Split. Right, so what was this? Okay. Right, but I think when we debug, it doesn't work, right? I think debug part is where we are trying to understand why it is not working. Didn't we debug these things? Hmm. Now we do the test suite. Okay, I think the way I was typing, I'm doing mistake in that typing. Looks like the way it should have been typed is not the way I'm typing. So okay, that's something on me. Looks like the way I was typing, right? So you can basically the way it looks like debug, and you can see here, right? So when I type here, test, test, when I enter it here, so that's basically the way you need to enter is you have to execute the statement input and then enter the keyboard. I think that's something with when you debug this Python on this pie chart. But now you can see test has a test and X when you say for split, you can see now, let's see where you have debugger and this test. When I run this one, you can see now you have a list of two fields, right? One is a test and test, and then you are gonna go. I think maybe let me stop it. Now we know what was the issue. So let's do a proper debugging thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna say I am a student. All right, so then I execute and say enter. So that's where now you can see if I take you guys to the debugger, test has a complete string. I am a student. You guys see on my screen? Okay. Then you basically, if you go execute the next sentence, it's now that string is split into I am a student, 4 fields, right? So now we are going to go one by one and going to see. So now Y is what represents I now, the first string, right? Then it's what this program is going to do. It's going to check as a street or street with as uppercase or street with all uppercase. So if this is true, then it's going to print true, right? So let's go and do this condition became false, right? So that's the reason it came out of loop and go and for the second term. Now second time when it is executing, you can see so now Y has a value of, you can see Y is M, right? So then again it is false. The third time when it is coming, it's still having a value of A. When you execute, still false. Now the last time when it or last time or for loops fourth time it is coming, so now Y has a value of student, right? So student, again it's going to check this condition and it's false, right? So now almost we are finished with that for loop, so it comes out says false, and that's what going to get printed on the screen here, right? I think we did not ask to put a false, right? Yeah, only prints true if it is street is there. But I think path is going extra and printing false. But here is a couple of things. Let's run it again to make sure now if I give a street in my input string, is it going to work? So let me debug it again. And I'm going to enter I live on street, right? If I say this, then basically now you guys can see what happens in this case. So now this test is splitted again into 5 fields, right? I live on Candlewood Street. Oh, I did type in the wrong thing. So when I type the wrong spelling, what's going to print? Is it going to print true? Is it going to print true or false in this case? Can somebody answer? True. The next spelling for the street is S-T-E-E-T. Is that going to match with any of your checking or whatever you did? Right? So yeah, I'm just going to execute it this time and see, right? So you can see the output on the screen. Oops, not complete. I guess let's continue. So it is always keep going into false statement, right? So now it printed false again. That means it didn't find the street because I typed it wrong. Let me fix it now this time. Let me fix what I wrote last time. So now this time, you guys can see, let's see. First time it false, second time false, third time it false. And now y has a value candlewood. So it's now, see, now it has a value street. So it went into this and it's gonna execute true on the screen. And after that, what part wrote is a quit. I mean, I did not teach you guys quit statement, right? So this is, I think he's just using quit statement to come out. I think this way of doing programming is always avoided because you don't want to quit in between. Always have to come out of for loop. This is your for loop, right? So you have to always come out of for loop. So actually don't use the quit statement and use something else. I mean, this program works, which is good, but let's do it different way. I think let's pick up. So you guys are good with this? What Parth has done, this program works, right? I'm gonna pick up now Arjun's code and copy it here, and we'll go over it. You guys good here? Anybody has a question on Parth's program? Maybe. Okay, no, right? So okay, let's then pick up your program, Arjun, and copy it here. Where, okay, input string. Okay, so this is what Arjun wrote, right? Arjun, I don't see a for loop or a split statement in your program, right? So if you look at question, it says that take a string as an input, find the text street in the string. So now what you have is you are taking an input and just looking a street in that input string. So let's run it and see how it works, right? So just like this, I think I'm currently here. Okay, so I think we are here. It's asking me, I am student. If I write here like this, it did not stop anywhere for me. So let me debug it again. Okay. So when you got the input from user, it's saying I am a student, right? And you are then comparing it. So let's see what happens. This is not equal to street, right? Or you are saying, oh, if street in input string. So there is no street in. So that's where it returns false and you print false, right? Let's see what you print here. Okay, so you print false. That's good. Now let's run it again with the input with the name street, right? I live on so now this input from user has value. I live on a Candlewood street. Now what Arjun is doing is he's using if street in input string. So that's one way of doing, and then value comes out to be true because now this this has a true, right? This sentence has street in it, so it prints true here. Let me show you guys. So it prints true. So that's the way, another way of doing things, right? So he did not use the split function. He just directly used in function, which automatically searches in the string and returns if there is a matching string found or not. This is another approach, but I think what we are trying to learn is we are trying to learn how to use split function, how to use a for loop. Now, just for example, you guys could understand that, oh, this in function must be doing what I was asking you guys. It's returning true or false. This sentence or this condition returns true or false, and that's what exactly we were trying to write, right? So if you use some code which automatically does that, then you don't learn the programming language, right? So idea is try building your own logic than relying on something like this. Actually, this is good when you go try doing big programs. Now, currently, we are just trying to learn. So that's where you want to learn about the if statement, for loops, and other things. Maybe I want to go back and use, or maybe I think you want to make sure you guys understand those for loops and break statement, continuous statement, because those are very important. The one which part shows as a quit, instead of that quit statement, I would prefer to use break statement. But I think we are already half an hour talking about the current homework. So rather than that, I think maybe let's go and do some more learning today. We want to try something as a function. We want to learn function part today, how to write a function in Python. So what is really a function? Any code we write, if a block of a code, we keep it separately, then that block of a code you can give a name, and that particular block of a code you can say that's a function. That's a function. And that particular set of code runs only when you call it. So let's do the function so that way you will know what that it really means. So what I'm going to do is, a function definition is like this, right? So let me see. I'm going to copy this one. Where is my file? So this is function definition. I say my function. So this, with a def, you are declaring a function or defining a function. This is the name of the function, and its syntax is function name, and then you have round braces and colon, and then all the body of the function you write it over here. But now we are just writing one sentence, or we are just printing hello from a function. Now this is the function, right? So we can call this function from our code. So if you call it, okay, let me see. I can call that function my function here, right? So this basically you guys can see now. Let's not debug it, just run it, okay? So if I run it, what it's gonna do is, you guys can see it printed hello function, right? Does it make sense? Oh, this is the function we are calling from our code. You guys might say, hey, what's the use of this thing? Because same print statement, I can write it here instead of that function, and it will do the work, right? Yes or no? If I do the same thing, it prints exactly same. So what's the use of that function when I can do it, correct? Is that right? You guys have that question or no? Right? So what's the point of having a function? That when same thing I can do here. But now let's say I'm gonna write two sentences in a print. Print hello from a function, and I'm gonna say, oh, this is my second print statement in function, right? So if I say this, okay, so if I do this, you guys can now see the difference. When I call this function, this is now a two print statement are part of this function because the function includes two print statements. So that's the reason when I call this function, it prints both of them. Hello from function, and this is my second print statement in function. So advantage of this is like, oh, I can write lot of code here and just call this function, and then all that code gonna get executed. So I don't have to repeat that code. So if I have to, like, if I do it twice, what's gonna happen? Can you guys tell me? If I do it this way, this my function and then calling again my function, what will happen? And you guys, someone of you think of it and answer. When I do this, what's really gonna happen? Correct, correct, right? So this both of you guys are saying same thing. How about the other kids, right? Nidhi or other guys? Do you understand what Arjun and Parth saying? See, when I run this program with just one function, it printed only one. But now if I print it with these two, calling this function two times, what's going to happen? You can see on my screen here, the print happened twice here, right? Once this time and once this time because it printed two times. So if I have to print three times, what will this do, Nidhi? If I do it like this, 1, 2, 3, what will happen here? Can you tell me what will happen if I do it like this? Arjun, no, I was asking Nidhi. Okay, so let's see what Nidhi is saying. So you can see this is one time, this is second time, right? And this is third time, right? So that's the idea behind the function that, oh, you can call it as many times and it will do the same work. So I don't have to repeat this line here. I can just keep calling it. So that's one advantage. There are a lot of advantage. So if it's something like, okay, here if I say, if I take some input name, and if I say hello from function, hi. So then if I say pass here, I'm gonna pass name. So you can see, oh, okay. I can pass some data name as some data to that function and I can print it, right? So let's see what happens. See, in this case, I'm calling that function with three different data, right? You guys can see here, right, on my screen. So let's see what it does. So you can see hello from function, hello from a function by Arjun, right? Because first time I passed the period name Arjun. So when it went here, it used that into printing it. Then this is the second statement it printed. Now after that, I'm calling that same function with name Nidhi. So what happens? It prints that hello from a function by Nidhi, and then it prints second statement. So just by passing different variables, this is called variables, right? This is a variable passed as input to a function. So passing different variable, I can do the different things. I pass one time Arjun, one time Nidhi, one time Park, and you can see it printed that particular text, right? So that's another beauty of the function, that oh, you can pass the variable and it can print something or work for that. So I think what I wanted to show you, do you guys understand this part, this whole thing? Oh, good. So actually now what I'm gonna write, you guys remember what we did? Split a split function, right? So let's do that. I'm gonna change this function, my function, as my text search function. My text search. I'm gonna give a big name to it. Search, EAR function, and this is to search. So what we are gonna do now, I'm gonna write some code, and you guys tell me what it gonna do. Okay. So I wrote this function. You guys can see that function, right? This is my function. So can you guys tell me what that function is doing? Can you guys tell me what this function is doing? Right. Right. It is what we are trying to do. We are trying to search banana in a function. And if we find a banana, we print that and we break, right? So this is the function which searches banana in a string. And I'm going to call that function with one time as this input, second time as this input, and this is third time I'm going to call with this. So let's debug and see what it does, right? So I'm passing, let's gonna call this function 3 times. So let's do this, right? So we are here. I'm calling this function so you guys can see. When you see debug, if you say step in, here is a step into. So if I say step into, it's gonna go into this function and you can debug the function. So what we pass as input as Arjun, right? So when we split this string with the hash, what's gonna happen? What you find, there is nothing other than Arjun in that string, right? And then we are gonna go through this for loop. So if you look, so now name has a value Arjun, we are comparing it against banana. Is it true? Is this true statement? What is the output of this statement? True or false? We are checking the name against the text. Yeah, let give her a chance, Aryan, sometimes. So she will also know an answer. So good, Nidhi. So this is a false. So that means it's not gonna go execute either of these. You guys can see it's gonna just, let's see what happens. It come out, did not printed anything on a console, right? And that's all in this split string. If we try executing one more time, it comes out. So when we pass this thing, it doesn't find anything, so it doesn't print anything. Now, as we're gonna go execute it with second function, so let's see what happens with the second function, right? So when we split, what we see as input as apple, banana, or grape, right? With the separated with the hash or number sign. When we split, you guys can see the split string has apple, banana in it, right? So if I go debugger, you can see apple, banana, grape, correct? Now we are going to go compare these values. Name. So let's see what happens. The name has a value banana. Sorry, name has a value apple. So now if we execute this if statement, now one more time, maybe if we execute this statement, when the name has a value apple, is this statement going to be true or false? Now it is going to be true, maybe, because the name has a value apple and we are comparing against banana, right? So it is going to be false when the name has a value apple. So that's the reason it is false. So next time when we go execute this for loop, now you can see it picks up the second string. What we entered, we gave this as this 3 string, right? You guys can see, let me just make it bigger. We passed this, right? And that split into apple, banana, grape. So now first time apple was there. Now next time name has a value banana, right? So then when you compare now, this time the name has a value banana and we are comparing it against banana. So what's going to be this if statement? Is it a true or a false? So now one more time, Nidhi, question for you. Is this statement going to be true or false? Now name has a value banana, right? So, okay, good job, Nidhi. It's good. So, yeah. So now if it is a true, what does that mean? It's going to execute what is then in if part, right? So let's see, is it really going to execute that? So you can see, oh, it came inside it. So that means yes, it's going to execute this print statement. And as soon as it printed, it's going to basically break out of it. Though there is another grade, we found banana. So we printed found banana in string, and then we are breaking out of that for loop because we don't want to do anything further, right? That's the reason you use a break statement because we don't want to continue processing. We found what we want. Now let's run this function 3 times, the third time, right? So if we execute this third time, what's going to happen? Now we see the string has a value grape and mango. When we split it, let's see what happens when we split it. So now it is basically grape and mango. So now if I run this for loop, what's we are going to see? Are we going to find banana in it? I'm not asking that individual statement. So now, is it going to find banana in this for loop? You guys can see, right? False. Second time also false, and then it quit. So it did not find. Good, right? So basically, we found a banana in this string, and other 2 strings we did not find banana, right? But think of it. This is what we wrote as a function. This code we wrote as a function, right? So if we have to do that code for each of these strings, we have to repeat that code, copy that code one more time. So avoid that, you usually write function and then pass the parameter to the function, and then it prints or does the work for that function. So it does that function. What is the use of function, or why people write the function? Do you guys understand that part? कळतंय का मुलांनो की फंक्शन का लिहायचं? Okay. No? Aryan, you said still no. So नाही कळलंय तुला अजून की फंक्शन का लिहायचं रे? नसेल तर just be open. That's okay. We can go and explain it again. Aryan, तुला फंक्शन का लिहायचं समजलं नाही अजून? आता समज की ठीक आहे, we wrote this as a function, right? So instead of that, if I say, oh, I have to do this whole code. So what I need to do is, let's do it without function. So instead of this, we are gonna write the code, right? So you can see, I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna assign something. Like what we did is we assigned this as argument and then did this code, right? Then what we have to do is that search was for with the text Arjun, right? The next search was with the text this, right? And oops, and the third search was with value grape and mango, right? So now this is what the function will do, right? If I don't write the function, then I have to write this code which will do the searching in the string one time here from line 39 to line 44. Then again for the another string 46 to 51. And then for the third one 53 to 58. I'm repeating same code again and again. But how I can avoid that is with the function. I can write this, copy this code in a function and then call that function, right? So this is what helps with the function. You can basically then your code, complete code becomes only like line 27 to line 37, which is 10 lines of code. But if you look at this, If I have to copy paste, then what I have to do is line 39 till 51, right? This is just very small example that what you can do with the function. But when you are really, जेव्हा प्रोफेशनल वर्ल्ड मध्ये प्रोग्रामिंग करतो, जेव्हा आम्ही आता प्रोग्राम करतो त्यावेळेला लाईन्स ऑफ कोड असतो की 10,000 लाईन्स ऑफ कोड असतो. मग त्यावेळेला तुम्ही सगळा कोड असा लिहून चालणार नाही, कारण त्यांनी कुणालाच काही समजणार नाही 4 दिवसानंतर. त्याच्यासाठी everybody writes a function, so that way it is easy to remember and even easy to know that, oh, this function by the name you can guess it, right? Oh, this is a text search function. That way. Is that explanation good? Arjun, who was that? Aryan. Okay. I know it might be difficult, but let's do that. I'm gonna give you the homework, so that way hopefully it helps you guys understand. So this is the homework for you guys, right? So what? Write a program to take comma separated number list as a string input from user. Find number 99 in the string, and if 99 is present in string, then display true. When user type quit program, then end program. So this is little different than what I asked you guys. So what I'm expecting you guys to use split function to split this number series, then use a for loop, and then also compare the whole text as a quit program. So if depending on that, you can enter something, right? So program काय लिहायचं कळलाय मुलांना? Just for example, I will show you guys here something. Comma separated list म्हणजे काय म्हणतोय? This is like this. Number list equal to input and I'm just showing you how you can take the input from user, okay? But rest of the code you guys have to write. So if I enter this, where is my console? Right? So when I say comma separated list, म्हणजे 12, 13, 11, 7, 36. This is my comma separated list. Okay. Does this make sense? This is a comma separated list. So write a program to get the input from a user, right? So if somebody writes a code like this, like if somebody enters like so this is not comma separated list. So if it is somebody enters this kind of data, then if your program don't recognize that or don't behave anything, that's fine. We are asking what is take user input as a comma separated number list, and in that list now find 99. Correct? Okay. As long as you guys understand this, you can write the program. Use function, okay? So use the split function and do all this in a function. Okay? It's already 8:30, guys. You guys can take off or leave.